I've analyzed more than 35 different prop firms, and now I'm going to tell you what are the 5 best prop firms for high frequency trading. In fact, all of the prop firms in this video allow you to use expert advisor, and they don't put any limit to the amount of trades that you can take in a day and the time that you need to hold those trades, making them perfect for high frequency trading. Additionally, if at any point during this video you would like to purchase a challenge for any of these prop firms, you can do so by clicking the links in the video description and using the coupon code that I'm going to give you. Following those steps will guarantee you that you always purchase a challenge at the best possible price. So, if you're serious about trying any of these prop firms, I suggest you follow the instruction in the video description. And now, let's start with the video. So, the first prop firm in my list is FunderPro. As you can see from their homepage, a few of the most important characteristics of this prop firm are the fact that they are able to offer you daily payouts. In fact, they are one of the few, if not the only one prop firm that allow you to request a payout every single day. In fact, potentially, you could trade in the morning, request a payout at lunchtime and receive it by the evening. And the reason why you are able to do that is because, as you can see here, once you are funded, you are booked. This means that when you use this prop firm, all the profit that you generate are actually extracted from the market, but they're not generated by the fees paid by traders that failed a challenge. I think that this is incredibly important because, of course, when you're dealing with a book prop firm, they are on your side. They win when you win, and so it's in their best interest to give you the best possible condition to allow you to trade profitably. And that's one of the reasons why they allow you to use high frequency trading. In fact, as you can see from this page here in their FAQ section, at the question, can I use HFT, high frequency trading, while participating in the funded account challenge? And the answer is that high frequency trading is permitted. Not only that, they also give you the links to the API for TradeLocker and for CTrader, which are the two trading platforms that you can use with FunderPro, so that you can connect your expert advisor to them and you can start trading on the platform. A few more positive characteristics of FunderPro are the fact that there is no trailing drawdown. In fact, all the drawdown in the challenges is always static, and also the fact that you are able to hold trade during the news and also during the weekend. When it comes to the news, I'm gonna be honest with you, the only rules is that you cannot open, close or manage a trade 2 minutes before or 2 minutes after a red folder news event. But beside that, you don't have any other limitation. When it comes to challenges, currently FunderPro only offer one phase as 2 phase, and when it comes to 2 phase, you can pick between regular and swing. The main difference is that if you pick a swing challenge, you're also gonna be able to hold trades during the weekend and during news event. When it comes to sizes, they go from 5k to 200k, and in my opinion the conditions are relatively good. In fact, as you can see here, when it comes to a regular 2-phase challenge, the profit target for phase 1 is going to be 10%, while for phase 2 is going to be 8%. The maximum daily drawdown is going to be 5% for both phases, while the maximum overall drawdown is going to be 10% for both phases. And as I told you before, all these drawdown are static and they are not trailing. You have an unlimited challenge duration, so this means that you can take as much time as you want to complete the challenge. You don't have any limitation to the maximum amount of lots that you can trade. When it comes to the leverage, as you can see, the maximum is up to 1 to 100, and then based on the instrument that you want to trade is going to change accordingly. You have a consistency rule. In fact, when it comes to 2-step challenges, as you can see, the consistency rule is 45%. This means that your best trading day should never exceed 45% of your overall profits. And since this is a regular challenge, you are not able to hold trades over the weekend and also over the news. And as I was telling you before, news trading is not allowed in the sense that you are not able to open a position 2 minutes before or 2 minutes after a major news release. Also, when it comes to 1-step challenges, the conditions are relatively good. In fact, as you can see, the profit target is going to be 14% for phase 1. The maximum daily drawdown is going to be 4%, while the maximum overall drawdown is going to be 7%. Also, in this case, you don't have any limit to the amount of time that you can take to complete the challenge. You don't have any limitation to the maximum amount of lots that you can trade. In this case, the maximum leverage is lower. In fact, it's only up to 1 to 50, and then based on the instrument is going to vary. You have a consistency rule that in this case is 15%, so is lower compared to a 2-step challenge, and in this case you are not able to hold trades over the weekend, and when it comes to news trading you have the same limitation to the 2-step challenge. In my opinion, if I had to trade with FunderPro, I would pick a regular 2-step challenge because I think it gives me the best value for my money. In fact, a regular challenge is cheaper compared to a swing challenge, but the conditions in my opinion are better compared to a 1-step challenge. In fact, the maximum profit target is only going to be 10% compared to 14%, and also have more daily drawdown and maximum overall drawdown. Additionally, since you're also going to be using with an EA that is probably going to open or close a lot of short position during the day, you're probably not interested in holding trades for a long period of time. So I don't think that a swing challenge even makes sense. So if you want to use FunderPro, go with a regular challenge. Before I show you how you can save up to 30% when purchasing a challenge, I just would like to show you one additional feature of FunderPro that in my opinion make it a really good prop firm for anyone serious about trading. As you can see on this page, we can see all the spreads for the various instruments that FunderPro allow you to trade. And here in the section called normal spread, I can see Forex Major, Forex Crosses, Forex Exotic, and I have an idea of the spread that I can get. But what in my opinion is really interesting is this section called Pro Instruments. In fact, once you're gonna get funded, you're gonna get access to better spread for certain instruments. And this clearly shows how FunderPro is interested in you getting profitable. In fact, as I told you before, this is an A-book prop firm, so they win when you win. Most of the time, a prop firm could give you really good condition when it comes to the evaluation phase. And then once you're funded, they completely switch, it becomes impossible to trade, and you end up failing the challenge and losing money. In the case of FunderPro, it's the opposite. Once you're funded, they want you to start making money because they're gonna get a cut of your profit, like any other prop firm. And it's in their best interest that you make money and extract profit from the market. So, now that you have a complete overview of FunderPro, let me show you how you can save up to 30% when purchasing a challenge. So, the steps to follow are really easy. You just need to click the link in the video description. That link is going to redirect you to the checkout page. Once you are here, you have to select the type of challenge that you want to purchase. You're going to add your info, and then when he asks you to insert a coupon code, you just need to insert the coupon code that you see right now on the screen, STKTRD. Once you insert it, you just need to click on apply. And as you can see, in this case, you just got a discount of 10%. But based on the period of the year, the discount can get up to 30%. And the good thing is this coupon code doesn't have an expiration date or a usage limit. So this means that every time you purchase a challenge, you can use this coupon code and you're always going to save some money. Next on the list, we have the funded account by OspreyFX. You probably didn't expect to see this prop firm in this video because I know that a lot of people don't even know that this broker offer funded account. But as you can see from this page, not only they offer funded account up to $200, they also allow you to use high frequency trading. In fact, I even receive a confirmation for the customer support. Here on the screen, you can now see a screenshot of my conversation where I ask, "Hi, is high frequency trading allowed with the funded account?" And as you can see, they replied, "Absolutely, high frequency trading is permitted with FunderFX, including with our funded accounts." And then there was a few key points. So if you decide to go with a funded account with OspreyFX, you're gonna be able to use your expert advisor, and you're also gonna be able to do high frequency trading. The only catch is that OspreyFX is only compatible with TradeLocker, so you need to make sure that your expert advisor can be used on that platform. Now, when it comes to the challenges offered by OspreyFX, as you can see here, they offer a profit split of up to 90%, you can get funded up to 200%, and you also have the opportunity to customize your challenge. In fact, after I give you an overview, I'm gonna actually log in my account and I'm gonna show you what are all the options that you can use to customize your challenge. So if you scroll down here, you can see when it comes to the challenge, currently they only offer a two-step challenge going from 5,000 to 200,000. And when it comes to the rules, as you can see, the challenge duration is unlimited. So this means that you can take as much time as you want to complete the challenge, but you have a minimum trading days of 7. In this case, the profit target for phase 1 is 10%, while the profit target for phase 2 is 8%. The maximum daily drawdown is 5% for both phases. The maximum overall drawdown is 12% for both phases. The available leverage is up to 1 to 100. The profit share is up to 90%, and the payout frequency is weekly. So if we compare the OspreyFX challenge to the FunderPro challenge, I would say that where this challenge wins is the fact that you have a higher maximum overall drawdown. In fact, while FunderPro was capped at 10%, in this case you have a 12% maximum overall drawdown. But when it comes to payout frequency, FunderPro is definitely better. In fact, OspreyFX offer you weekly payouts, while FunderPro offer daily payouts. But it's also true that OspreyFX is more affordable. In fact, as you can see, in this case, a 10k two-step challenge is only going to cost you $499, while on FunderPro, for a challenge of this size, we are above $500. So I just logged in inside my OspreyFX account, and as I was telling you before, once you're about to buy your challenge, you also have the option to add a lot of different add-ons. Not only that, OspreyFX also offer you the opportunity to have a free trial. So if you would like to try this prop proffer before committing to a paid account, you also have this option. And you can create an account by simply clicking the links in the video description. So when it comes to the add-on, as you can see, they are really interesting in my opinion. In fact, for example, you can increase your profit share, or by ticking this box, you're gonna be able to trade the news. In fact, once you tick this box, as you can see from this conversation that I had with the customer support, you're gonna be able to trade the news without any limitation. So this means that even during red folder news, you're gonna be able to open, close, and manage your trades. Not only that, you also have the opportunity to eliminate the minimum trading days, you can double your leverage, and in case you want to be able to do high frequency trading, you're also gonna need to tick this box. Lastly, you also have the opportunity to have an hybrid max loss and profit target. I know that right now you might be a bit pissed off because you need to pay 10% more if you want to be able to do high frequency trading. But don't worry, because I was able to get an exclusive coupon code that is going to give you a 10% discount, basically making this add-on completely for free. In fact, as you can see here, the price currently is $499. If I tick this box, the price is going to increase, but then if I go here on the coupon code and I add the coupon code STKTRD, as you can see, and then I click on apply, I'm gonna have a 10% discount, and I'm actually going to spend less than if I simply purchase a normal challenge without this add-on. And also in this case, this coupon code doesn't have an expiration date and doesn't have a limited usage. So every time you're going to buy a new challenge, you can use it, and you're always gonna get at least a 10% discount. Last on the list, we have Funded Trading Plus. I decided to include this proffer in my video because not only they allow you to do high frequency trading, even if, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm also gonna show you, there are a few limitations, there are a few rules that you need to follow, but I think that for 99% of traders, they won't be a problem. But what I really like about this proffer is that while FunderPro and OspreyFX only offer one-step and two-step challenges, Funded Trading Plus also offer instant funded challenge. So this means that you're gonna be funded immediately and you won't need to go through the evaluation phase. So when it comes to the one-step challenge, as you can see, they go from 12,500 till 200,000, and you're able to trade on Match Trader, DX Trade, and C Trader. So when it comes to phase 1 challenges, as you can see, the maximum simulated trading days are unlimited. So again, no limitation to the amount of time to complete a challenge. Once you are funded, the initial profit split is gonna be 80-20. Then once you manage to get 20% profit of your initial balance, you can request a bump to 90-10. And once you reach a 30% profit on your initial balance, you can request a bump to 100% of your profit. The simulated profit target to pass phase 1 is 10%. The drawdown in this case is relative. The maximum simulated trading days is 0, so you don't have a minimum trading days. Leverage is 1 to 30. The maximum simulated overall loss is 6%, while the daily maximum loss is 4%. As I was telling you before, once you are funded, you are able to get access to a scaling plan. You don't have any minimum withdrawal criteria, so this means that you can start withdrawing money from day 0, and then it's gonna be every 7 days. There is a minimum withdrawal amount of $50. As I was telling you, expert advisors are allowed, but there are a few limitations that I'm going to explain you. You don't have any maximum lot size. You're able to hold trades during the weekend. You're not required to have a stop loss, and then once you reach 10% of your simulated profit, you're also gonna receive a complete refund. When it comes to two-step challenges, you have 3 different options, which are Prestige, Premium, and Advanced. The main difference is that when it comes to the Prestige, your drawdown is going to be static, while for Premium and Advanced, the drawdown is going to be trailing. Then, when it comes to Premium and Advanced, the main difference between these two types of challenges are the percentages connected to your account. In fact, for example, when it comes to a Premium account, your simulated profit target is going to be 8% for phase 1 and 5% for phase 2, while if you go with an Advanced account, in this case, the profit target for phase 1 is going to be 10%, while the profit target for phase 2 is gonna stay at 5%. Also, your maximum daily drawdown and your maximum overall drawdown are going to change based on the challenge that you pick. All the other rules are basically going to remain the same. So for example, if we look at a premium challenge, as you can see, the simulated profit are going to be 8% for phase 1 and 5% for phase 2. The drawdown is going to be relative and not static like the other challenge. You still don't have any minimum trading days required. The maximum simulated loss is going to be 8% for both phases, while the daily simulated loss is going to be 4% for both phases. As I was telling you, if you go with an advanced challenge, as you can see in this case, the maximum simulated loss is going to be 10% for both phases, while the daily simulated loss is going to be 5% for both phases. Going back to a premium challenge, if you keep scrolling down, as you can see, you have a scaling plan that gets activated once you are funded, and contrary to the one-step challenge, in this case you have a minimum withdrawal criteria of 7 days instead of starting from day 0, and the minimum withdrawal amount also in this case is $50. Also for two-step challenges, you are allowed to use expert advisor, you don't have a maximum simulated loss size, you are able to hold trades over the weekend, you are not required to use a stop loss, and also in this case, once you reach 10% of your simulated profit, you're gonna receive a complete refund. Lastly, we have instant challenges that, as I told you before, is one of the main differentiation between this prop firm and OspreyFX and FunderPro. So when it comes to these challenges, you can pick between a 5k challenge up to $100,000. In this case, you don't have a maximum simulated trading days. The profit split is going to be 80-20, and then you have the opportunity to increase it and scale it up to 100-0. You don't have any simulated profit target since you are immediately funded. The drawdown type is relative, so it's not static. You don't have a minimum simulated trading days. The maximum simulated leverage also in this case is 1 to 30. The maximum simulated loss is 6%, and also the daily maximum simulated loss is 6%, which in my opinion is really good. You have an opportunity to scale your account. In fact, every 10% of simulated profit, your account size is going to grow without you needing to purchase additional challenges. Also in this case, you can start requesting your profit from day 0 and then every 7 days. The minimum withdrawal amount is $10. Expert advisor also in this case are allowed. You don't have any maximum simulated loss size. You are not able to hold trades over the weekend in this case, but again, if you're going to do high frequency trading, this is probably something that didn't interest you in the first place, and then you are not required to use a stop loss. Now, before I show you what are the rules related to high frequency trading, I also would like to point out that using Funded Trading Plus, you are allowed to trade the news without any limitation. In fact, as you can see from this conversation that I had with the customer support, here I asked them, hi, is there any limitation related to news trading? And they told me news trading is allowed and we don't have any restriction. The only thing that she told me to look at is this page where they have the gambling rules, and basically to give you a brief summary, they don't like when a trader, for example, always risk 1% during normal trades, and then 30 seconds before a red folding event, you open a position risking 10% of the account. They don't like this type of behavior and they see it as gambling. So if you want to be able to trade the news, you have to treat that trade like you did with all the others. So if you usually only risk 1% per trade, also in this case only risk 1%. And then what you can do is simply let the trade run, so you can still profit from the news, but you won't be marked as a gambler by the prop firm. So now that the rules about news trading are clear, let me tell you what are the rules related to high frequency trading. So here you can see a conversation that I had with the customer support when I wanted to know more about their rules. I started the conversation asking, hi, do you allow high frequency trading? And they told me that they allow high frequency trading, is not a problem for them, but since this is a simulated live account, she was telling me that the probability of my bot being profitable are low, but they are not forbidden. So I ask a follow-up question just to confirm, and I say, so it's not forbidden, but it just might not be profitable. And she replied telling me that they cannot allow expert advisors spamming thousands of orders on the server. And since the number was not precise, was a bit vague, I asked them, look, what is the maximum amount of trades that I can do in a single day? Because there are prop firms that, for example, tell you, look, you can trade expert advisor, but you are limited to 2,000 orders a day, for example. And so I wanted to know what is the maximum limit that I can have. To that, she replied me that I needed to go look at the rules related to risk management and also read the rules related to gambling. And I told her, look, I read those pages, I read those rules, but I haven't found any information related to a maximum amount of trades that I can take. And she told me, look, that is not about the maximum amount of trade, but it's about the margin utilization. If you go to one of these links, particularly the one related to risk review policy, they're gonna show you a table where they say, based on the size of your account, this is the maximum amount of margin that you can use at any given time. If you go above this margin utilization, we are not gonna close your account, but you're gonna simply subject to a human review to see how you are using this account, you know, if you are following all the rules of the prop firm. So basically it's not about the amount of trades that you take, but about the amount of margin that you utilize at any single point. So after she told me about the margin utilization, I wanted to be completely sure, and so I asked her, okay, so I can use an high frequency trading bot if I stay inside the recommended margin utilization, right? And she told me yes, and given that your high frequency expert advisor is not spamming thousands of order adjustment across the server. So basically my conclusion for this conversation is that you are allowed to use high frequency trading bots. The only two rules that you need to follow is probably stay below 1000 order a day. So in this way you don't spam too much the server, and also always keep an eye on the percentage of margin that you are utilizing. So in this way you won't be subject to a human review. I know that right now you might be asking yourself, okay, everything sounds good, but what are these margin percentages that I need to follow? Well, don't worry, because here on the screen right now, you can see based on your account size, what is the margin percentage that you need to follow. If you want, you can stop the video right now, take a screenshot, so you always have them with you. Lastly, as I did for the other two prop firm, I want to show you how you can purchase a challenge from this prop firm, receiving a minimum of a 10% discount. So the steps are really simple. In fact, what you have to do is simply click the link in the video description, and then once you get to the checkout page where he asks you to insert a coupon, what you have to do is simply click here to insert your coupon, and then write the following coupon: STKTRD. Once you wrote this coupon, simply click here where it says apply coupon, and as you can see, the total price went for $4.99 to $4.49. So also in this case, you're saving 10%, and you can use this coupon code as many times as you want. So there you have it. These were the 3 best high frequency prop firm currently on the market. As I told you before, and also as I show you during this video, if you would like to purchase a challenge for any of these prop firm and you would like to save some money, simply click the links in the video description and use the coupon code that I show you. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, and until next time, happy trades!